Okay, kids, welcome back to Miss Shivik's Fun with Fractions. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about a fraction divided by a whole number. So far we've done whole number divided by fraction and fraction divided by fraction, but now we're going to look at what happens when you have a fractional part of something, so something less than one whole, and you split that amongst a whole number of groups. Okay, so just a quick reminder before we start. I know I did this example before, but I want to go over it again. If you think about division, just a simple division like 12 divided by 6, we can think of that in two ways. The first way is how many groups of 6 fit into 12, right? And we all know, well, 6 if it's into 12, 2 times. I could fit 2 groups of 6 into 12. And that's worked really well for us so far. And it works really well when the divisor, or the second number, is bigger than the first number or the dividend, because it's easy to think of smaller groups fitting into something bigger. But now we're going to be dealing with problems where the first number is smaller, the dividend is smaller, and the divisor is bigger. So it really helps us to think about division in the other way, which is if I split 12 into 6 groups, how much will be in each group? In which case the answer is also 2, right? I know if I split 12 into 6 groups, each group will contain 2 things. Okay, so let's move on to our actual problem here, which is you get sick of your Halloween candy. You have 3/4 of a bucket left and decide to split it evenly among your 5 friends. How much of the bucket does each friend get? Okay, so we have 3/4 of a bucket of candy, and we're splitting that amongst 5 people, right? We're sharing it. Now, there may be little bells ringing off in your head going, God, this is kind of familiar. We're taking food and we're sharing it or giving away part of it, or somebody's taking part of it. So you should kind of think, oh, you know, that's like brownie pans or like the lasagnas or the cakes or all those things we did with fraction multiplication. So let's see why this sounds kind of familiar. So you get sick of your Halloween candy. You have 3/4 of a bucket. So let's start with our 3/4 of a bucket. Always go with what you know you have. Right, here's our bucket of candy. I'm going to split it into fourths because I know I have 3/4 of it, and I only have 3/4 of it, so I'm going to black out that last fourth, and here represents my 3/4 of a bucket. Now you're going to split it evenly among your 5 friends. So you should be thinking in your head, okay, if I'm splitting it evenly among my 5 friends, and I only have 3/4 of a bucket to start with, they're not going to be getting that much of a bucket, right? They're definitely going to be less than a whole bucket, because I don't have a whole bucket to start with. And they're going to be getting less than 3/4 of a bucket because I'm taking that 3/4 of a bucket and splitting it amongst 5 people. So my answer should be a fairly low fraction. So let's see what actually happens. Well, here we are. We have 3/4 of a bucket, and I need to split it amongst 5 people. Well, what have we done in the past when we needed to split something into fifths, right? Well, we've already got thirds. That doesn't really help. We've got 3 pieces here out of 4. That doesn't really help us because we can't easily take a fifth of that. So let's go across like we've done in the past. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So each one of these rows represents 1 friend, right? Here's your first friend, your second friend, your third friend, your fourth friend, your fifth friend. So if you're trying to figure out how much of a bucket each friend gets, all we need to worry about is 1 friend. So here's the row that represents 1 friend. Well, how much do they actually end up getting? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3. And if you think, we want to know of a whole bucket, how much of a whole bucket does he get? Or she get, right? This would be 1, 2, 3 out of a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 3 out of 20. So 3/20ths of a bucket. Remember, no naked answers. You need to know what this number actually represents in your problem. So does this make sense based on our estimate? We said it should be a number that's quite a small fraction, and 3/20ths is quite a small fraction. So this number makes sense. So looking back at our model here, you're like, that's just a brownie pan, man. That's 1/5 times 3/4. All we did here was 1/5 times 3/4. And you're absolutely right, okay? Our original division problem was 3/4 of a bucket divided into 5 groups, right? That was our original division problem. So what we've shown now is that 3/4 divided by 5 is the same as or equal to 3/4 times 1/5. And this is an important concept that we're going to talk about soon. Why do we end up multiplying in a division problem? And what is the relationship between 1/5 and 5? All right, hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I will see you soon.